Our car tester Klaus Niedzwied says Porsche recently released a coupe version of the Cayenne. This is it. So what's different, he asks? A lot. The windshield is a little flatter, but the big changes start at the front pillars. And the rear has changed a lot. There, the coupe has little in common with the standard Cayenne. It's 20mm lower in back, for one thing, as well as 18mm wider and 13 longer. All three engines on offer for it are real beasts, he says, but he'll get back to that later. First, he's going to take it out for a little spin around the Austrian city of Graz. From the very beginning, the BMW engineers took a two-track approach to the third-generation Cayenne, so the coupe has been in planning for quite a while. Aimed at younger customers, the model's redesigned body promises a more dynamic, sporty driving experience. Just like in the standard Cayenne, it can be had with a range of powertrains that pump out between 250 and 404 kilowatts. The sloping roofline and rear give the coupe a distinctive personality that can perhaps best be described as athletically imposing, a kind of cross between champion sprinter and sumo wrestler. Klaus says you probably expect less headroom in a coupe, and usually you'd be right, but Porsche's engineers are pretty clever. They lowered the seats by around 3 centimetres, freeing up that space for taller drivers and passengers. The interior shares one characteristic with the standard Cayenne: its clear lines and good instrument overview. The transmission is an 8-gear automatic. Four bucket seats are standard for the model, but in the rear they can be swapped out for a 3-seat bench. Klaus says connoisseurs can choose the design trimline. It includes 22-inch wheels, ceramic brake pads and various body elements made of carbon, most of them in the interior and roof. They help make the car a little lighter, he says. The rear of the coupe screams sportiness. The small black strip above the logo deserves a second glance. It's an active spoiler that extends out to 13.5 centimetres at speeds of over 90 kilometres an hour, increasing the downforce on the rear axle to improve stability and dynamic performance. Making the roof out of carbon cuts 20 kilograms from the vehicle's overall weight, which also slightly lowers its centre of gravity. Klaus says that in his opinion, a car of over 2 tons can't ever be considered really sporty, but the Cayenne Coupe does have a very sporty appearance, he admits. And when you take it out to test its zip on country roads, it handles very well. It leaves you with the feeling you're safe and in control. It has all-wheel drive, and the one he's driving also has ceramic brakes. You can brake late, long and hard with them without a problem. The Cayenne Coupe also comes with all the driver assist systems, so even less sporty drivers would feel very safe behind the wheel of it, he says. Klaus is testing the S-Coupe version of the Cayenne, equipped with a 6-cylinder bi-turbo engine that can hurl it from a standstill to 100 kilometers an hour in 5 seconds flat. Top speed is 263 kilometers an hour. A bare-bones version without any extras sells in Germany for just under €100,000. The performance parameters are pretty impressive, says Klaus. When you hit the gas, it really leaps forward. It even presses you back into your seat a little. What's interesting is there's no lag before the turbo kicks in because the engine has 2 superchargers. Nowadays, you can build in such a way that there's no lag, he says. On the wheel is a control that allows you to individually configure a range of different driving modes. And if the sportiest mode just isn't quite sporty enough, maybe time to take it up a notch. Klaus has had enough of the Coupe S model, now he's going to try out the turbo version of the car. It packs 550 horsepower and so has plenty of go, he says. Porsche didn't invent the SUV coupe segment, but the southern German sports car manufacturer just wouldn't be Porsche if it didn't try to show the competition how it's done. It's hard to top the power and performance offered by one of its models bearing the turbo label. Klaus says the car's performance data are really impressive. It tops out at 286 kilometers an hour on the Autobahn. No one really needs that, of course, but some drivers like the feeling their car can almost go 300. It hits 100 in just under 4 seconds, he says. And the parameters overall are a lot like that of a sports car. Even though at 2 tons, the coupe, of course, can't make that claim. But it looks like one, and would give sports car drivers what they're looking for.
Und wird auch die Wünsche von Sportfahrern befriedigen.
So, which would he take? You can't beat 550 horsepower, Klaus says, but you don't really need that. He'd be just as happy with the S version.
Also das S-Modell würde sicherlich auch mir reichen.
There's also the little matter of the €47,000 difference in price between the two. There's plenty of fun to be had in the S Coupe, even for a former race driver.